doing good, man.
How's everything going?
Not too bad. Keeping busy.
That's good.
Yeah. How about you?
Oh, it's good, man. Yeah, just busy. I just put some hardware in some doors today.
Oh,
Been
yeah.
I worked all week. I worked on a roof. So we did a roof Thursday, Friday, and finished yesterday. Battle.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, cold here. It was cold.
It's cold?
It was cold. It started snowing on us a little bit.
No.
Battle. All good though. We
Dude,
got it.
It's like 25 and sunny right now.
Oh, perfect. Oh yeah, great. That's awesome. Great to hear.
You got to come back to the coast, buddy.
Yeah, I know. No, it's supposed to get nice this week, but it was brutal.
Oh, man. I can't imagine being out in the snow trying to roof. Too much work.
Oh, we were laughing. We were like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
There's a guy I do it with now that's plays in East Coast League hockey, and then another guy who's just a beauty too.
Okay. It's just a couple of you guys? A couple of guys?
Yeah, I shut the business down this year, and then I just roof with a couple guys.
Awesome.
It wasn't worth it anymore.
Yeah? Too
It was
much work?
becoming more of a hassle than it was anything else.
Mm.
So just do cash now. It's perfect.
Yeah. Can't go wrong there.
No. So,
Yeah.
what's going on?
Not too much, man. We're just keeping busy. Trying to figure out when we can reopen the gym, get back to normal.
Yeah, hopefully soon, man.
Yeah.
What do you think you'll have to do? You think you'll have to put in anything like precaution, like just limit classes or test people's temperature or what?
I don't know about the testing of the temperature necessarily. Like, we haven't had as many cases here, I think, as you guys have.
No, even here.
Yeah, but I think we're going to probably at least for like a month or, you know what I mean, 6-8 weeks, whatever it is, we are going to go to like a modified schedule.
Yeah.
And then like reduce numbers of people in the gym.
Yeah.
Breaks in between classes so that one class can finish, change, leave, and then the next class comes in. So there's like less people in the facility.
Yeah.
No parents allowed in the gym, like when the kids' classes are going on, like unless they need to be there for a specific reason.
Sure.
Stuff like that, you know. So we've Lloyd and I have been planning. We've got like a pretty good plan in place. I think that's gonna work out.
You guys would have it the right way, right? Like I was reading something on just one sec on Instagram. Like Mike is like inviting people to his house to do privates and stuff right now. I'm like, bro, like. And he's like, he's so cavalier about it. I'm like, and that's fine. But if you get popped for that, that's $800 off the top. No doubt, bang, no questions asked. $812. Like, not just a fine, but what happens if something happens?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't have too much to do with Micah.
You don't train at all with him or anything?
No, man. No, I haven't trained with like the only person I train with, like, still really from back in the old days is Albrecht, man.
Yeah, he said he comes out. He said he trains with you guys sometimes.
Yeah, like once or twice a week at least.
Yeah, he said that.
Other than that,
no 10th Planet guys or anything like that.
No, I mean, like, I'm cool with those guys. Like, you know, I really like Nabil and Micah's a good dude.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily like. I mean, when they're posting stuff like that, like they're pretty blatant about it. You know,
well, it just ruins your business, right?
Yeah, I mean,
that's what it does. Objectively, like, you can't do that.
No, well, that's exactly it. I mean, it just doesn't. It's not a good look. And,
no.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. That's just my opinion, I guess. Like, at the same time, like, I'm in a different situation. Like, we're doing the online classes, so I mean, like, I still have an income coming in. Ness is still working a lot, so
yeah.
I'm in a different situation than Micah, so it's pretty easy for me to like cast a first stone when I'm sitting comfortably in my house and
sure.
This guy's about to lose his place. Like, I don't know his situation. So.
But you set up right too, properly, like over the years, right? Like, I mean, you guys have built it kind of from the ground up.
Yeah, I mean, we've definitely grown the team, and yeah.
How many members do you have now?
So like before this whole thing, happen, like with the guys, with the birdhouse guys.
Yeah.
Maybe like around
Hi.
Hey, happy Mother's Day.
Thank you. How's it going?
Not too bad. Nash should come say hi too. I'm doing great. How are you doing?
We're good. You know, quarantine life, just hanging in there.
Quarantine life, right? It's a lot of fun.
Oh my God.
They're
I'm
killing
sorry.
that wall, eh?
I can, here's,
Hey,
Hi. How are ya?
good. How are you?
since she
Good. Are you?
get Mother's Day, she gets an honorable mention.
She does.
Hey, congratulations. That's exciting. When's that coming to join the fam?
September.
Exciting.
Wow.
Hopefully by September, some of this will be
Settled down.
chaos.
Yeah.
Will have settled. Are you busy at work right now? Are you at the hospital still?
Yeah. My
Oh,
unit's not
oh, oh.
horrible, but it definitely
Can you
is.
tell
busy and
her to
tough.
stop standing the wall?
Yeah. Yeah, that's so it's tough, right?
Yeah, but it could be worse.
Yeah. Yeah. Are people being pretty good there though? Like it's not
Some better than others.
Yeah. I can imagine.
Mhm.
Same here, though.
Look at
right?
you both in your
Yeah, I know.
HWPO
It's cool.
t-shirts.
That's a sweatshirt, right?
Yeah.
Hi,
Yeah,
Vivi.
this one and then that other style that I sent you too, but I like this one.
I like the crews. She wants a crew. I want a crew and a hat each.
We're getting them, the hats will be done and then sweaters are done, so we'll send them for you guys tomorrow.
Yeah. Unreal.
You
You're
gotta-
in a tank top. We had snow yesterday.
Ooh,
That's-
You're in a tank top.
it's hot and sunny here. I've been out working in the garden this morning.
Awesome.
Oh.
Awesome. Rub it in, Ness.
I know,
Rub
I
it
know,
in.
yeah. Well, we're happy for you.
Hey,
Yeah. Kind of. Not really happy, but a little bit.
Okay, you need to be careful with me. Can you say hi? Still in PJs. This is
Okay.
quarantine life. PJs all day.
I only just got dressed half an hour ago, so it's okay.
Okay, say hi.
The PJs like all day are cool
Hi, girl.
for the girls, no problem. But the other day I'm at like Save On and there's like these dudes walking around in their PJs. I'm like, come on, guy, have some self-respect.
I know.
There's nothing cool about a man wearing minion pajamas.
No.
Nothing cool about it. Like, bro, nope. You can watch Degenerates or you can watch Despicable Me or whatever it is.
Here,
And
take this
Minions, you just can't go showing everybody that stuff.
Like, man, I mean, throw on some comfortable shorts or something. It's 25 degrees outside. You can show up at Save On at 2 p.m. wearing sweatpants or wearing your friggin' pajamas. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah, I know. It's brutal. It's hilarious.
At least
Uh,
pretend
please
like
do
you have
that.
some respect.
There was a time when Josh would rock plaid pants with a plaid jacket.
That's
Comfortably. That's different.
He's evolved slightly.
I've got the plaid jacket too. I mean, that's just lumberjack lifestyle, especially when you're having beer. It's okay.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I'm gonna make sure the kids aren't. They were sanding the wall for me because we did some drywall that we need to sand and paint. So I better go super.
They're
fast.
really good at sanding too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Great.
I'm sure it's looking awesome.
You guys.
It's so good to see you. I'll let you guys get back
All
to
right.
your chat.
Sounds good.
All right, and congratulations again.
Yeah, congrats, Vanessa.
Nice.
So yeah, that's cool. Everything. So that's a cool look, man. We like that. We were saying that. Sick.
What's that? These? Yeah.
Oh yeah. When did you start that?
Just a couple weeks ago. I'm just playing
Cool.
with it.
Yeah.
Just,
Keep it. Sick.
hey, we've got time. Good time to work on some stuff. So
No doubt. No doubt.
I
How's
kept-
Lloyd?
started working on this logo maybe 2 years ago, just as like a side project because I was wanting to learn how to use Squarespace. So I was like, oh, just kind of playing around with this thing, and then I never did anything with it. And then with the quarantine time, I was like, oh, whatever, I'll get it rocking. And then I brought in a buddy of mine who's a marketing guy who's doing all our video editing and stuff. So Alex is helping me now tag team this thing. So
It's wicked.
Yeah.
So wicked. Are you competing anymore?
I was planning on. I was off for. I had about a year and a bit, just a year off. when we had some turnover and stuff at the gym. So I was just super busy, like just teaching all the classes, making sure like we're all squared away.
Yeah.
And then I was like doing some like trail races and like that kind of thing, you know, some shorter stuff. And then I was planning on getting back this year, and then all this stuff happened. Obviously then we found out about the baby too. So my plan was to compete kind of like from February until like June, July.
Yeah.
Be around for the baby. And then obviously there's no competitions right now, but yeah, I am going to compete again.
That's good. Good for you, man. That'll be great.
I'm still training lots. I mean, I'm obviously not rolling, but I'm rolling a little bit with Jordan, and he's living in my basement suite. So we're kind of quarantined together. Right.
Gallagher?
Yeah. Gallagher.
Is he good?
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, he's black belt now.
Unreal.
Yeah, Jordo had a good black belt debut at Europeans. I think he won his first one for sure, and then I don't know if he won his second one or if he lost like a ref's decision or something in the second one. But I mean, good debut for sure.
Sure, for sure. That's cool. And then you that Sean guy doesn't train there anymore, right?
No, that was like our big turnover, man. They kind of they kind of left abruptly and didn't do things the way I would have if I was leaving. Let's just say.
Right.
So
he has no affiliation with you anymore?
No, nothing, man. No, they opened up a gym like a block away. And
come on, dude.
Tried to steal all of our members.
Who, him and who else?
The guy who was teaching some kickboxing for us.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What a disaster.
I mean, hey, it's like I said, not the way. I mean, you remember when we opened Genesis from West Coast, we did everything properly with Don, you know. We bought him out of Abbotsford. We paid him, you know, we did everything proper respect. We told him we were going to leave, went with Cobrinha, blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
So it was a process, but at least like at the end of the day, like we left, but at least like, you know, we took the right steps along the way.
Right.
We didn't just like, you know, open up a gym right next to West Coast and Abbey and like try to steal everybody, you know. But I mean, hey, you know, like everybody, I guess, has to take their own path. And at the end of the day, we've gotten a lot stronger from it. We've shored up a lot of things, and I think a lot of those guys have a little bit of like bad attitudes too. You didn't realize it, but after they left, the vibe in the gym was like, I don't know how to describe it, but like so much better. Like our membership almost doubled in the year since they left.
There's got to be a reason for that, right?
Yeah. So
I mean, that's important. Like training, and for me is like all about vibe, you know. Like I can train so much harder. Like I don't necessarily need like the best guys around me, but I need like the people that get me motivated, you know?
Yeah, 100%, man. And I think like in jiu-jitsu specifically, I kind of talked about this last week a little bit with my buddy CJ there, but I think if you don't like have a good vibe and you don't like the people you're training with, you really limit your growth, because you're never gonna try anything like outside of what you're really good at. Because like I don't like this guy, I can't let him sweep me. I don't like this guy, I can't let him pass the guard. You know.
I agree.
But if it's
that's in anything though, I really believe that. Like you consciously don't get it until you don't see it, because subconsciously when you come into an environment where you're excited and you're happy to see the people, you're fired up.
Yeah. And I think like, man, that goes back, you look at the difference between like training and competing, right? If you're like, if you're with people you don't like, you're basically in a competition, like every training session.
Yeah.
You don't really improve from that. You're just like redlining all the time.
Yeah, no, I agree.
That's why we have training.
I agree with that for sure. For sure. Through the years, I've felt that, especially now that I'm older, like, man, if I don't like training with people I don't like that much. It's not really my thing.
Yeah, no, it's just like, for me, like, it's exactly like you said, like we've been training so long now that it's like, if you don't enjoy the people you're around, then I'm just kind of like, I'd rather just go for a run.
Right. Exactly. Solo.
I'd rather just grab the dog and head out on the trail.
100%. 100%, man. I totally agree with that. It's a good point for sure. I didn't know how you wanted, what you were doing with this structure or whatever, but I don't like, whatever
Yeah.
whatever you want.
For the videos? Or,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just the chat or whatever. I didn't know what you wanted to do or whatever, but I was super stoked to chat.
It's up to you, buddy. I mean, we're just, we've just been kind of shooting the shit. And
Yeah.
if you had anything specific you want to talk about, what do you got going on right now? Why don't you tell everybody you're like I don't know, man. You're an Iron Man,
Yeah. Like the
national
old,
champion boxer, purple belt in jiu-jitsu,
well,
university athlete, ultra
Yeah.
runner.
That's cool. Wow. I don't know if I'll be able to get my head through the door. Well, it's funny because lately I've been training really hard. So I've been going hard, man. I've been trying to do 1,000 air squats every day. And that was just because I wanted to, but I was going to find something to like donate to or find another thing to raise money for. I probably haven't been 1,000 a day, but I've been damn close. And just what I've got going on, man. I train at this gym at CrossFit Stratford. It's 2 guys that used to play in the NHL. So that's been really good, like really, really good environment, good people to train with. In quarantine, I haven't missed a beat really. I've been going hard. It hasn't really changed, man, over the years. Like I've really realized that it's like something I can't get away from. You know what I mean? Like even if I don't have anything to do, like I still just, I don't know, I'll still just do like a 40-minute dark workout. And I kind of feel like at this point in my life, it's more for my anxiety that I've really learned that I have had. I feel like I haven't gotten more anxiety, but I've had a lot of anxiety, mental health anxiety through my life. And I'm really able to control it through specific diet and training. And like we always talk about it, like when it gets really dark in those long workouts that are really bad, it's kind of where I'm really comfortable. Like I'm just like, I don't have to, like anxiety is worrying about stuff that doesn't make any sense. Like it's like trying to control things you don't control. And in those types of situations, I can control what I'm doing. And I don't really think past the next rep or the next present moment, the next thing I need to do. You know what I mean? So it's calming almost, you know? And my going back to that, my point is like, I haven't stopped training and I haven't stopped doing all of those long aerobic based workouts. I still do like a lot of strength stuff, but I've always kept those aerobic based workouts as a part of my diet because especially now more than ever, I'm a better person because of that. There's no doubt about it. Like I'm a lot more of an irritable person and I don't respond well in different situations if I get away from that. And that's really like, that's the real truth, right? And then coupled with like very specific how I eat sometimes. Like for instance, if I feel like like after shift, for instance, after 24, generally I don't eat very much through the day. Like I'll almost starve all day. And I feel like it's very helpful for me because if I put too many like processed carbohydrates or anything like that in my system, I just feel the downs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Man, 100%. I think what you touched on there about like, I'm the same way. Like exercise for me, like my morning workout is like therapy. Like it's what keeps me calm through the day. Like if I have to do my workout in the morning. Like I can't not. I can't.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's like, I get all the time, like, oh, Jay, you don't ever take a day off. It's like, no, I don't take a day off. If I
Yeah.
miss my workout in the morning, like if I don't at least go out and like go for a run, then like the rest of the day I'm so moody and irritable and I'll snap on like the littlest thing, you know?
Yeah, I totally appreciate that for sure.
Yeah, it's therapy, right? It's therapeutic. I need it. I need it for being a better person for sure.
Oh, I 100%, it's the best drug in the world, man. I totally appreciate like that for sure. Like I'm a total drug addict when it comes to stuff like that because it's a drug that I have to have. I can't be away from it. I'm just lucky it's that drug. It's totally true.
100%. That's the one.
So fortunate that the drug, everyone's got an addiction. I'm just lucky that that's my addiction. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, I think that's an important mindset, because I think that a lot of people judge other people and addicts or addiction, people that struggle with addictions. But what they really don't realize is everybody has it. Every single person. It's just what you decide, or what you, through the years, what kind of guides you into that sort of realm. Like, is it because you've gotten into drugs when you were younger, or alcohol, which of course I like love drinking beers, but the reality is like, my addiction is endorphin based. It's not substance based. And it's an important thing to think about. And it's a really important thing to like make sure that you completely understand from a human perspective, because all of these people, everyone's battling something. And it's just it's just the reality of understanding that you should feel really happy that this is the thing that we're addicted to.
Yeah, 100%, man. I think it's like interesting because, you know, like what people use drugs and alcohol for, I think a lot is, especially as you get older, you know, like when you're younger, you're like partying, like, oh, we're having fun. But then I think like as you get older, or you look at the more vulnerable population, people on the streets, et cetera, well, it's self-medication, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're using it to deal with trauma or mental health issues or whatever it is. And, you know, like it's easy to kind of like disregard that. Well, I mean, that's the same thing. Like I do these crazy workouts with, or like, man, if I do a workout in the morning that wasn't long enough, like I don't feel like I got enough out, I'll do another one in the afternoon. Like I'll do it 2 days, because like that's how I like deal with my issues during the day, you know?
No, 100%.
Yeah, especially without having jujitsu. Right now for like that second training, it's like, man, I'm doing 2 workouts most days, because I'm used to like doing my workout and rolling. You know?
100%. Well, it's 100%. At the bare, like if you look at it like bare bones, it's hard for people to realize or understand, but it's like taking another bag. Like we get a bag in the morning when we work out, so that's a dime bag. And if that's not enough dope to last us through the day, you got to have a little bit more in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of the fact that this is stuff that helps you and it makes you better. But at the end of the day, it's still that drug that you need.
Yeah.
So I still, you know, I'm still really into like long workouts, multiples. I like really enjoy that stuff. I think I might have slowed a little bit down with multiples, but like with the kids, like 100% I'm doing, you know, for instance, like I have a book that I keep my workouts now. So last month, let me just check. Last month I took, this is hilarious. So last month I took, it's crazy. I get all my workouts put on this thing beyond the whiteboard. So this month I've taken 1 day. Last month I took 3 days off. And that was one of the days I roofed. The month before I took 4 days off. And it's just like, you look at the days and you start to realize like it's something you need. If it's that consistent over such a long period of time, you need it. The reality is like, in my mind, I've always been into the more of the longer aerobic based, but I definitely like a strength element. And I love sport too. So I play a lot of hockey too. But as for jiu-jitsu, I went to a gym to roll, and it was just so different from when we were coming through, man. I couldn't deal with it. I honestly, I just could not deal with it. It was so weird. Like I didn't enjoy it. I wasn't even really having fun. But I wrestle a lot here. I coach a lot of wrestling. So I coached throughout this whole year. Obviously, I would still have been coaching up until May 1st for my school age kids, so grades 7, 8s. And then I coached high school the whole first part of the year. So that's been really cool too. That was really cool. And I'm really like, I still really pay attention to grappling, like especially wrestling. So like I watch every duel, especially with the big boys like Penn State and Iowa and all the world championships. And then obviously there's crossover now because, Gordon Ryan has a huge mouth. He's obviously a phenomenal athlete, like 100%, but he's gotten his mouth, he runs his mouth a lot. So he started going after, like Nicky Rod. Like his big one, I was just about to say, his big one's with PD3.
Yeah.
So Pat Downey is an incredible wrestler who
killed him.
he's like if you see him throw guys,
yeah,
like rather throw you than know you, like that. When he's like, he was so good, and especially through university, but he was such a badass, and he runs his mouth all in fun, honestly. He's sick. Like, so anyways, my point being, like, I started to really go back to paying a little bit more attention to grappling in general, just because some of these wrestlers are wrestling with a lot of jiu-jitsu. So what's funny is this guy last year, his name's Jason Nolf. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He's wrestled at Penn State for years. Amazing, amazing guy. He might make the world stage. I'm not sure if he's quite there, probably getting close, but he's got a tough bracket. He jumps over guys in like an inverted triangle for pins. It's so crazy. So like, and there's a lot of like, especially in U.S. wrestling, because it's all folk based. So they don't wrestle free in college. They wrestle folk style. So it's all scrambly, super scrambly, like crazy scrambles. And it's all about ride time. You can't clasp your hands when you're on somebody. So you have to always like maintain different weird grips, which is really cool for jiu-jitsu. But a lot of them use a lot of jiu-jitsu. Like a lot of the half guard get up stuff that we used to always play with. Those guys are always looking for crazy, crazy stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's cool. In-step stuff they look at. There's a lot of really, really cool, like getting up off the ground, out of turtle, like it's all turtle, no-gi turtle stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think a lot of and then of course all the top game stuff they're doing with the controls and the arm traps and all that stuff is all. I mean, I've actually picked up a ton of top game stuff recently watching Jordan Burroughs. A lot of the arm trap stuff, and it's made like such a big difference with my guard passing.
Yeah, I bet. Like another one that's really like super technical from that regard, and especially from top side north south. His name's Kyle Dake.
Oh, Kyle Dake's awesome, man.
Yeah, he's super super aggressive.
It's crazy too. Hey, have you seen like some of the stuff he does? He's out there.
He's the funny thing about Dake is Dake's also in intellect. He graduated honors from Cornell, super intelligent guy. He's very into like alternative stuff. So he wears the blue glasses. He's into like light therapy. He does a lot of really cool things that like people dismiss. But look, a lot of his training with functional pattern stuff.
Yeah. So
what people on here wouldn't understand as well is like I have a half foot, so I have poor balance obviously on my right side. So a lot of the functional stuff, I use a lot of that. And I will tell you, man, it is so good for you. Like ankle mobility, small accessory muscle work, as well as just like overall body awareness. The stuff that he does may look crazy. It's the most productive training you can do because a lot of it is cognitive training. It's brain training. And I mean, I'm not huge on the whole light thing. You know how all the guys use the little light stuff? I mean, that's cool. I don't have that luxury of having that technology. But the small things that he does with like different footwork based stuff, man, it's been huge. Like I use a lot of it.
You know, the Speed of Sport guy, Nick Kershaw?
Yeah, he came out of that area too.
Yeah, really similar with I know like their training is all based from the feet up. So they do like a lot of like really specific training, like that's like focused on like your dexterity through the feet and like balance through the feet. It's interesting for sure. It's a lot different than like, our hard nosed type workouts. You and I are both the same like that. those
Yeah.
crazy workouts. But yeah, it's definitely different.
I mean, I use a lot of it in warm up. I mean, let's be completely honest, man. I'll never change. I still try to smash a square through a circular hole when I train. There's no doubt about it. Like, it's still massive volume. That's what I live on, massive volume. And I live for that. But the reality is like warm ups and making sure your body's ready and doing a pre-WOD. So like a workout, it is a workout, but it's not like super, super aggressive. And just for me, like, you know, my feet don't work the same way. So I have to understand how I can compensate just even in a different foot position to have the same outcome. Right. And it's so interesting because for me, if I turn my foot one way or the other, like you could have your foot straight, but I need to turn it this way a little bit because I don't have the third pod on my foot. So if I have my foot straight, I'll fall over in a certain, let's say, exercise. However, if I just change my angle of my toes, you know, to 5 degrees, I can compete in that exercise.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at with my training. But yeah, so that's it, man. That's the way it is.
That's a little bit variations for
Yeah.
You know, athlete specific, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know, you see guys games and like the big power guys, like you see them and like it's a real battle out there, man. I saw a couple nogi matches a little while ago and I was like, those big boys, they throw down.
Yeah.
But like that doesn't work for everybody. Like those guys are powerful humans.
Yeah, I mean, if I do those power workouts, man, like I'm so like strained for like days afterwards. Like it just is not for my athletic type. I like to grind. I like to run. I like to do lots of reps, and I'm good to go the next day.
Yeah, no doubt. And I'm not sure that those guys really like have a lot of longevity. Maybe that's because of the drugs that they're putting into their body, or maybe that's because of the types of workouts they're doing. But the reality, like, those guys are so high end, man. Like like you look at Downey though. Downey does a lot of grinding. Like he doesn't do it. He's just an incredible athlete. Like he's just so next level athleticism.
That's like that old school wrestler mentality, right? Just grind.
Yeah, like all those guys, right? You look at you know, Zane Rutherford, Jordan Oliver, all these guys that are at the world stage in the lighter weight classes, like your weights, and they all do like tough grinding workouts. They do a lot of strength and power, but it's all through motion.
Yeah,
it's very dynamic. It's not your traditional deadlift squat. It's pistols with resistance on one of your hips. It's pistols with someone throwing you a ball. It's doing weird, heavy cable-based workouts like functional pattern stuff. And it's super awesome to see. It's heavy. They're heavy. Or jumping. They do weird jumping stuff like where they're like sitting or on their knees and they're hopping to their knees and it's a two-step. Like you ever see when Burroughs does with his Bulgarian sandbag. That's a heavy bag that he uses. A lot of that stuff he uses, and there's a lot of torque on his body when he's trying to move. It's just a bit different, right?
Yeah.
And that's longevity. Like look how long he's been around, those guys.
It's interesting to think about too, like how you're like going to approach your training when you're looking sport specific. Like, so for example, I do a lot of stuff now where I'm thinking like sport specific. So say like, for example, I did some sets today where I'll do like 10 strict pull-ups and at the top go into an isometric hold, right?
Yeah, like that.
So, like the same idea we'd be doing in jiu-jitsu, we're pulling, moving, pulling, and then I have to stabilize, right?
Right.
So I'll do stuff like that with pushing, pulling, you know, but with simple body weight exercises. But then you hear like other guys like Ben Bergeron talks about like training, doing stuff that you wouldn't do specifically in your sport. Because his thought is like, well, you're already doing those things in your sport. You need to be doing the other things that you're not doing to supplement on the other side. So, I mean, it's interesting, you know?
It really is. And I think that you can also supplement different time domain stuff to mimic things like that. For instance, you were just talking about pull-ups. So what I've been doing every single week is I do a specific sets of pull-ups on every 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So I've gotten to 6. So I try to get 6 every 30 seconds for 10 minutes. That's 120 strict pull-ups.
Yeah.
Grip is shot. But when you start to like work at like, you go on every 30 seconds or on every 15 seconds, and you start to mimic different time things like holding different RPM levels on a bike and then hitting something very like static after and replaying that 20 times on a specific time domain. So for instance, hitting 10 calories on every minute, hit 10 to 15 calories really super hard, and then going straight into like, 5 or 6 pistols or whatever. Those I really believe like changing the type of exercise and the type of muscle system through those time domains is huge.
Well, and I think a lot of that too is if you look at something like that, like if you go, for example, on a bike, and a lot of my guys probably who are watching aren't necessarily CrossFit guys, but just in general, like you're going from like operating something in like a cardiovascular domain or aerobic or anaerobic, even like if you're looking short domain where you're like operating at a very high heart rate. And then from that heart rate going into something where you're like moving like into a pistol, or I'll do something similar. Say like what I do all the time is like 15 cals or 20 cals, and then like right into like 10 heavy kettlebell swings.
Yeah.
5 heavy dumbbell snatches, something like that. So like at that high heart rate, moving a weight that's moderate to heavy for me under that duress, right?
Yeah, like another really crazy one, because the one guy I work out with is a guy he won a cup in Colorado. He's a wicked guy, and I do a lot of like D-ball holds. So I'll take so for instance, what I've been trying to do, it's rough at the start. It really is rough. Is you'll do your workout and it'll be a high-end aerobic workout, and then what I try to do is I try to hold a 150-pound D-ball in your front like this for 5 minutes.
Hey.
Like, and you just are like, oh my God, dude, like I am in so much trouble right now. I'm hurting so bad. Or like, especially jiu-jitsu specific is like, you get your heart rate high and you grapple jiu-jitsu and your hands are tired and everything's tired. And then you do ascending order. So you'll do like what's another 12 minutes at the gym? You do, let's say, for instance, one of the ones that I did a little while ago, which I really liked, was I held a D-ball for 5 minutes at 80 pounds. I took a minute off. I did 4 minutes at 90 pounds, took a minute off, 3 minutes at 100, 2 minutes at 125, 1 minute at 150. Man, like you're not even moving. You're just statically holding that weight. But the amount of pressure, like that's one thing I used to have, right? I could squeeze. And like, that's where you get that squeeze. People don't understand. You got to practice that squeeze. Like it's not just something like if you grab someone and like when we used to train or whatever, like when someone would grab you, you would just know that that's whatever. No, but if you grab someone and they're like, oh my God, this guy is gonna rip my arm off, but I haven't even pulled your arm yet. I'm just squeezing your wrist. It's a very powerful aspect in a match. Where you're like person's hand, especially in your gi, like, you used to get grips, and even when you hide your thumb or you do different things, people are like, how am I going to get away from this guy?
Cobrinha does that a lot, man. He talks about it where he'll like make a grip and he'll talk about staring, because he does a lot of grip work, man.
Yeah.
He'll talk about like making a grip and then just like staring at his opponent and just like, oh,
break the grip. But it's so funny, right? Because when you break a grip mentally, it feels good. But if you can't get away from a guy's grips or his hooks or his handles, or you can't get away from his topside control, it's demoralizing. It's a battle. Like, and you think about it and I really feel like this is when you start to play that game and you start to get down where you're like, man, I can't beat this guy's grips. You start to gas a lot more. Like you lose a lot of gas just even in thought. Like if you can stay in the moment and not dwell on the fact that someone's physically annihilating you, you're in a lot better shape. You may not think that, but I think you really are. And my, like, going back to that, training those grips and those different systems is so important.
Yeah.
So much crossover.
Well, yeah, 100%. I'll tell you one thing for sure. Every high-level black belt I've ever trained with has the same is grips. You need the grips, and I mean, yeah, definitely. If you're like in anything, if you're getting like, if you realize you're outmatched in one area, the calmer you can stay, you know, the
Yeah.
the lower your heart rate's going to be, the less exertion you're doing, and the more energy you have for like when you really need it, for sure.
Oh, for sure. Like stand up too. Like, I mean, all of those things are so, we talk a little bit about grappling, but remember, like my first thing was always striking is, and just having that hand strength is so big, man. Like it's so huge. Everyone's always talking about putting their hips through, and when you punch, obviously I've coached a lot of boxing. You turn your hip over, blah blah blah. But you get someone with big, strong meat hook hands, and they put a hole in your head. It's bad. Bad news bears. Like hand strength and punching power is direct correlation. 100%.
Get those big meaty.
Well, and like squeeze, like you see a lot of the guys in that squeeze, like if you squeeze and it's 100% correlates to stronger boxing, stronger punching power. No doubt about it. In my opinion.
Yeah, I think so for sure, man. I mean, if you, if you have like the big strong hands, I mean, you look at those guys like, even when they grab you and make a grip on your arm, you feel it.
Oh, it's crazy, right? For sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know what to say. That's 100%. I mean, over the years, I think I don't disagree with Bergeron. I just don't necessarily think that, I think he likes to play on the, he says that those things aren't sport related, but they all are, is the point. Like, for instance, like in jiu-jitsu and stuff, you train what you're saying is he says that you train certain things to train something different. But
Yeah.
really what's different, because if I'm a better skater and I've improved in skating and I'm still doing jiu-jitsu, I'm improving my jiu-jitsu too. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I definitely think like, I mean, sure, like in jiu-jitsu, I'm doing a lot of grip work. I'm doing a lot of holding. That's one thing, but it's a lot different. Like, man, if you're doing jiu-jitsu and like, sure, you can roll, but you're struggling with a 2-minute plank. I mean, that's going to directly like relate to your squeeze and
100%.
you know what I mean? So I think it is important to like keep things sport specific.
Yeah, I do. And I
If
think
you're
that everything can transfer over.
Yeah.
And that's another thing about that dark place is like, deep in a match, you have to sometimes ask yourself, like, am I going to go out and get it, or am I going to just quit? And it's funny because some people are like, well, I just lost by a point here. Well, you had the opportunity to win that match. Like if you would have pulled that leg in one more time, or if you wouldn't have given up on that shot and let yourself get spread, like strung out on the drying rack, you would have been able to finish that shot, or you would have been able to win that match. And getting to that deep, dark spot through exercise or working out or whatever multiple times and being comfortable in that sort of context makes you win matches 100%. Because if it's even close and you've gotten through those dark times so many times, you're going to find a way. And as a coach, I've seen like so many kids come back and be like, oh, I couldn't do it. And I think to myself, it's all in preparation. And like, if you can just emulate that darkness so much every week, you go to that dark spot a couple of times, 3 times, and you're in that match and you're so tired, you're going to find a way. You're going to find a way to score a takedown. You're going to find a way to like turn the hip and get up or whatever. Like just, you're going to find a way. And maybe it's not always technical, but sometimes brute, grind, grunt is very technical. Like, like being able to like grind it out and just be an animal out there is super technical in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
not everybody can do it.
Well, I think like what that is a lot too is it's like stress inoculation, right? And you put yourself in the fire. And I mean, what that is like if we do that through exercise, and then you get into a match, and like you said, there's always like that spot, man. Or maybe you like make a mistake and you end up in a bad spot and you're in the middle of a choke. You're tired, you're breathing heavy, and you could tap. I could tap. you know?
Yeah.
It could all be over, no problem. Okay, and then, I can get up and say, I got caught, it happens, no big deal. Or
Yeah.
I can fight through it. I've been
Yeah.
here before,
100%.
and see what happens. Maybe I'm going to go out, or maybe I'm not. Or there's the other flip side too, where you could be like on the other end of that. And I've been there too, where like, man, I come out of a match super hard and you blast a guy and you get him like, we're scrapping hard for 2 minutes and you got him in like a really dirty triangle or something like that. And then the guy gets out, he just puffs it out or whatever, your legs burn out and you're like, there's 3 minutes left and this guy's coming at you. Well, you're tired. What are you going to do? Are you going to quit? Or have you put yourself in the fire enough times to know, like, no, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to see what happens.
And I think a lot of that as well is, and the kids that I coach, like, don't have expectations. Like a guy like who I will watch a lot, I think he's sick, is Justin Gaethje. And he's like, I never have any expectations because I don't care. He goes, doesn't matter because I have no expectations. The question to him was, you hit Tony Ferguson yesterday with like all these bombs. He's like, did you get discouraged? He goes, no, I don't care. He goes, I have full control of my own thoughts. No one can control my thoughts. I just go out there, let it ride. It'll be what it'll be. Don't expect anything. Just go out there and let it fly. And if you have too much of a rear view mirror, you can't look forward. Like, okay, he got out. I scored. I'm dominating the match. Keep dominating. Who cares?
I was listening to a podcast this morning, man, by this ultra runner. He's a former Navy SEAL guy. His name's Chad Wright, not Gagnon.
I know who he is.
You know Chad Wright?
Yeah, I know who he is.
He said,
I follow a lot of those guys.
Yeah, man. So, and it was interesting when you said that, but he said, you can't sail on yesterday's winds,
Yeah, it's so true, right? That's such a good line.
That's a good line. It's funny when you said,
good line.
I was listening to it this morning when I was running, and man, it's true. You can't do that. And what you can do is like, it's exactly like you talked about. You can only control, what's in here. That's it. In the match, you can control your preparation. You can control if you trained hard and prepared, and you can control your mind and what it allows to do. Everything else, your opponent, the referees, it's all completely outside of your control. So if you let those things affect you or affect like how you're going to approach a match or a fight or a run or workout or whatever it is, like it's just wasting energy on things you can't control. And then I think like that goes back to like what your mindset is. Like you have that fixed mindset or that growth mindset, or I'm going to go in there and do my best. I prepared hard. I'm ready. Let's go. Let's see what happens. If I win, great. If I don't, back to the drawing board. And
no doubt. I mean, and like those expectations are just exactly what we were talking about before and going back to it. Expectations are exactly the same thing as anxiety. You're worrying about stuff that you have no control over. You're thinking about things you have no control over. When you expect something, that's the reason that we play the game. Like you can't just write about the game. You have to play the game to know what the outcome's going to be. It's like an expectation is the same thing. You expect something. Well, you haven't done it yet. Like do it. And when it happens, then you can talk later. But I mean, I know. And a lot of anxiety is because of expectation, all these different things. But at the end of the day, like when you grind hard and you go in and let it fly, like even Gaethje said yesterday or last night, he goes, I have no idea what even happened in that fight because I have to watch it again. He goes, if I try to think about what's going on in a fight, it's already too late. Because just let it go and let it fly. And it's such a cool way, and it's so much harder to do than it sounds. Like he makes it sound like it's so easy, but it's so hard to do. But if you can like just focus on training, go into a competition knowing you trained really hard, and really just let it fly with no expectations, I think that's the win right there.
Well, and I think that's the difference too between, like a high level athlete and somebody who isn't, is like being able to achieve that flow state, right?
Yeah.
You can adjust where you can trust in your training enough to know that you're going to make the right reactions.
Yeah.
That's at that level of, like if you talk about like Malcolm Gladwell, that 10,000 hours, right?
Yeah.
Where are you? Do you have your 10,000 hours where like it's innate now? It's an innate ability. You're not thinking. He's not thinking about slipping, right? And throwing and throwing, a counter hook off of that. He's just doing it.
Yeah, like, it's so funny you say that. Like, I watched a couple of Japanese wrestlers, and they were practicing this arm drag setup. Dude, it was just simple arm drag setup, man. These guys they're world champion level. Like, they've done it a million times. It was just like a swipe, arm drag, hook the elbow, pull through, go to like an outside or go to an outside single, right? Arm drag, outside single, arm drag, outside single. They practice the same setup, not even the takedown, for 45 minutes. 45 minutes just on setup.
Yep.
And it's just because they don't have to think about it. It's just like they'll see it, boom, it's there. It's like it's incredible to watch like some of those people train. And it's important, I think, to realize that it's really like important to watch how other people train. That's what I've really learned over the years too, is like when I see someone train and see them prepare to train and see them grind, you watch them and watch how their mental state changes or watch how they're going. And you take a lot from that. You really do.
Yeah, 100%, man. You should be able to learn from all of these guys, right?
Yeah. Like I totally, like even when I roof, like we went 14 hours in the wind and snow and stuff, and the guys were still happy and guys are still grinding. And like, that's a real mentally tough thing to do. And I said to April when I came home, I said, it was great. I just told myself it wasn't cold after a while, and I just kept working. And it's just because of the surroundings too. And you watch how these guys react to these situations. It doesn't matter. Who cares? Got a job to do, go do it.
Yeah.
End of discussion. And like my wrestlers, I say the same thing to them. So you got a job to do, go do it. Just go do the job. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about what anyone else thinks. Don't worry about what anyone else does. Don't worry about it. We're going to train our asses off. I'm going to train with you, and we're going to get you ready, and then go and have fun. Just go do the job.
Go do, yeah, that's it. All you can do is go out there and put in your best effort.
There's a lot of people that have a lot of like philosophies about training and fighting and grappling. But at the end of the day, you've done it a million times. Because you're on a mat with someone that you don't know doesn't change anything from then if someone came in as a visitor from another gym to your gym. Yeah. Just go out, tie your belt, slap yourself in the face a couple times, shake hands, and get after it.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Remember when I used to train? Remember the kid I used to coach, Cody Brown?
Yeah.
He was really like that, man. He was no one was even close to him in Canada. Amazing boxer. And we'd be warming up. I'd be holding pat. We'd be warming up ready for a big fight. Kid who was like on the national team the year before. Oh, look at Lily's got the boat. Cool. Captain Kid. Okay, buddy, give me 2 minutes. And then, so we would be warming up in the back, and he'd be laughing and we'd be joking, and there was no anxiety, zero. So we'd be standing ready to come out, and he'd put this like obscene techno song on, and we'd be ready and he'd be like, no, just hold on a second. I'm like, what's going on here? So we'd stand in there and he'd be like, no, just wait. It'd be like 40, like a long time, like 40 seconds. Like that's a long time. And the guy, he'd just be icing the guy, just icing him in the ring, just letting him hear his whole song. And then he'd walk out with a big smile on his face, no anxiety whatsoever. And he'd go in there and just let him fly.
Ready to go.
Ready to go, man. It was so crazy. Like you watch this guy and the way that he would compete. And it's so funny because the reality is like competing is a martial art unto its own.
Yeah,
like,
no, it's definitely a skill.
It's such a skill, like to be a good competitor. Like you can beat people that are so much more skilled than you are just by being an awesome competitor.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And I think it's a skill that you need to really work on. Like be a good competitor.
Well, yeah, if you're going to compete at that level, you need to be competing all the time. It's getting inoculated to that stress, right?
And I tell my kids in the wrestling mat all the time, when you come into the gym, when we're going to a tournament, every single day or every time you come into the gym, every match, do the exact same thing. Start the exact same way.
Give me 1 sec, Josh.
Yeah, take your time.
Sorry, buddy. The dog's in a full-on fist fight with the cat.
Oh no, that doesn't matter, man.
You hear them going nuts. I'm like, fuck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I just think like being good at competing is really important.
Yeah, I mean, you can train that like anything else. You know who's good at competing too is another guy was Brooks.
Amazing.
Yeah.
He came to see me. We hung out a while ago.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. He's one of the best competitors I've ever met.
Yeah. How's he
100%.
doing? I haven't seen that guy in
Great.
years, man.
He's hilarious. He is so funny.
Yeah.
He is so funny. He was so good at letting it fly. Like I've seen a lot of good guys. He would have been the best. Not even close. No, not even close. Just the way he competes. Like he would have guaranteed. I guarantee it. He would have been top level.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, man, Brooks was a very, very good athlete. Not the best athlete I've ever met for sure.
No,
But he had that switch, and he had that fire, man, that you just couldn't teach. Like if he ever got in any trouble, it was like there was never any quit in that guy, you know?
no, and there was never any thought. It
No.
was just do, and it's funny because Brooks likes the attention. He loved the attention, and he loved. So, for instance, he fought Ash Mastraghi when Ash Mastraghi was good,
Yeah.
tough, scary guy.
I think he's still good.
Well, I don't know. I haven't seen him train at all lately, but sure. And he's just like at the weigh-ins. He goes, "I'm gonna smash this guy." We were driving home together, and he's like, "I'm like, what are you talking about?" And he goes, "Oh, I saw it at the weigh-ins." I'm like, "You saw what at the weigh-ins?" He goes, "I saw it at the weigh-ins." He goes, I looked at his face. I'm gonna smash him, guaranteed.
Yeah.
And it was so fast. It was like, oh my god. But yeah, he was like,
That was a crazy fight, bro.
it was a crazy fight. He's still crazy. He's still Brooks. He's crazy. He's great. He's great. He's so funny. Oh, yeah. It was good to see him. I was supposed to go out for his wedding thing, but it's got canceled. So.
Oh yeah. Oh, he's getting married. Hey.
Yeah, he's getting married.
Amazing.
It's a phenomenal.
I can't do that. I get a hard time picturing that guy settling down.
Yeah, me too. But he's he's great, man. I don't even know. I spoke to Rob Ferrar a while ago because I wanted to do the Okanagan Trail thing with him.
Okay, what's that?
I was going to go over the Okanagan Trail for like mental health. He did it for the police a while ago, and I was going to do it 200 and whatever. I think that'd be kind of cool. And the odd time, like I messaged back and forth with Seb, especially when we did that workout thing.
Yeah.
To be honest, like a lot of the old guys, Alyssa Betts, I talked to, and Luke.
Yeah.
A little bit. But they closed down CrossFit Maple Ridge.
Yeah, I saw that. Wasn't that long, right? Wasn't that long?
Yeah, she said I don't want to open up again. She's like sick of it. So, but a lot of them I don't really like. Sean I talked to still all like quite a bit. And then you, but a lot of them I don't really talk to very much, to be honest.
No.
We kind of lost touch. Like I see them on Instagram or whatever doing their thing, but I think there's been a lot of like, and you would know this more. Like a lot of people have like kind of separated, right? Like they don't train the same.
Yeah, from the old like sheepdogs and stuff days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, none of those guys are even still really involved with sheepdogs so much. I know Seb coaches there a little bit, but Rob's not there. He's not an owner anymore. Bershinsky's around a little bit, but I know like, I still talk with Chris quite a bit. We're always bouncing work off.
I love that guy.
Yeah, Bershinsky's
that guy is an animal.
Yeah,
Dude, he's an animal. I remember thinking to myself, I'm gonna bury this guy in this like workout or whatever. I don't even remember what it was. I'm gonna bury him, and he has an incredible ability to never go away. He just doesn't go away.
like man, the amount of like cardio he has too for like how strong he is.
Oh yeah,
is unreal. Like
he's a full-on animal, dude. There's no denying why he was at the top level of what he did.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he was a killing machine. And I don't mean that in whatever he did before. I don't like, that's not what we're talking about. I just mean like with regards to like his ability in sport and in the military too. Like I know he was a high ranking guy. Like guys were like, they wanted him. Like he was the guy.
Yeah.
And there's no secret why. Like,
Yeah. You only got to spend a little bit of time around somebody like that to see why, right?
he is such an operator, man. He's so specific and he's so smart.
Yeah.
Like he's very well thought out. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I haven't. But other than that, like I never talked to Kenny or Nabil or any of those guys. I just see them on Instagram. Kenny's always posting about food.
Yeah, same. I see them on Instagram a little bit here and there. I know Nabil just had a daughter. Saw
Cool.
that. Which is cool. So
But yeah. So
yeah, it's funny how there's I mean Albrecht's basically the only guy I still see.
he's a beauty. What
Yeah.
a beauty. Yeah, he seems good. He's Shawnee, he hasn't changed.
Yeah, I don't think he
Never changes.
doesn't change much, man. I think he's exactly the same. I mean, he's more mature now for sure.
Sure. That's it though.
But yeah, for sure.
You ever go to like down to Poco?
No, I've only ever been there actually like one time, just when we gave Seb the brown belt.
Oh, that's really cool. That's really cool that you were there for that.
Yeah, we wanted to surprise him and go and kind of like
That's
and I did it
so
together
cool.
or whatever.
Yeah.
So, other than that though, no, not really, man. I mean, I don't even really cross train so much. Like I'll go train with my boys out in North Burnaby a little bit. I don't know if you remember Phil and Brandon.
Yep.
When Jordo was out there, like they're still under me, and they're fucking so good at jiu-jitsu, bro.
That's great.
They're
And Phil Taw?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I know him.
Yeah, Phil and Brandon. And,
Nice guy.
oh man, they're the nicest guys.
Yeah.
Like there's like, but yeah, they're the nicest guys. They're super cool. Like they're fun to hang out with. But their jiu-jitsu knowledge is like, probably better than mine now. In terms of like the new game, like, I know a lot of like very little subtle things and like, I'm in a very broad game, but in terms of like the lapels and all the worms and all that stuff, it's like when I have a question, that's who I go to, But
wow.
other than training with my own guys, I don't really cross train very much anymore, man.
That's crazy.
I
There's
used
a jiu-jitsu gym here, and I went in to talk to the guy, and I'm still like mulling it over whether I'm going to go back. I saw them training, and they were like, whoa. They asked me about my training. They're like, have you ever trained before? And I was like, yeah, I trained a bit. And then they're like, whatever, they were wondering about coming back, but I don't know. We'll see if it fits, We'll see.
When you say I've trained a little bit, that's a little bit of an understatement.
Yeah, it's a bit of an understatement, but I don't want to like commit to them or anything, yet. It's right in Stratford, which would be nice, but it depends on the girls too. I don't like being away at night. I really don't.
Yeah.
So it would have a huge impact if they had like noon classes where I could come in and train, I'm in. But if not, no, I'm not in.
They don't have any daytime training, hey?
I think they have some, but we'll see how this COVID thing starts. I mean, listen, I have a purple belt. I wouldn't mind, not hanging it all up forever. I didn't like hang it up because I was injured or because of anything like that. So like, there's no reason for me not to be able to just kind of come back. Now I will tell you this, I've probably forgotten almost everything, but I do watch a lot of grappling and I do wrestle still a lot. So that would help. But man, I would have to, the only thing I think I can still remember a lot of is honestly half guard because we did it all the time.
That's all you need anyways, buddy.
Yeah, I know you'd say that. I remember like a lot of that stuff, but like there's so much I forget.
I don't even play as much half guard anymore, but it's still there if I need it, man.
It's always there for you, man. You did so much of it for how many years, right? You can't get away from it.
But you know what? I'd probably say like I'm more of an open guard player now.
That's so cool. So cool to watch those games, like those guys do some of that open guard stuff. I don't like watching it jiu-jitsu and the gi, to be honest, but some of those some of those no-gi matches are so fast. I don't even know what they're doing half the time. They're flying around, man. I'm like, oh,
It's
right.
yeah. I mean, it's like controlled chaos, right?
It's nuts. Like you've seen, and then you watch Nicky Rod go at it, and he's trying to take someone's head off. You're like, dude, this is crazy. That's why when Pat Downey smoked him, I was like, wow, dude. I would be intimidated if I was going up against Nicky Rod, like the way he gets on the mat and some of his like head snaps. I'm like, man.
Yeah, but I think
my
like
neck.
Nicky Rod's whole thing was like, oh, he's a high level wrestler, but I think he was like Div 3 going up against Pat Downey.
Yeah,
You know,
he's not a great wrestler.
Pat Downey's like having a laugh, right? He's like, come on, man. That would be like, I don't know, us fighting blue belts or something, you know? It's
like a big joke to him.
yeah, exactly.
But all right, buddy.
Those guys are other levels, man.
They really are. They're the best. That was really fun, dude. Had a great chat.
It was awesome, man. I appreciate you sitting down having a chat with me.
I couldn't appreciate it more. Let's be in touch.
Yeah, 100%. It was great seeing Rita and the girls too. It's awesome.
Yeah. Say happy Mother's Day to Ness for me.
Almost.
Yeah, that's right.
Honorable mention.
All right, brother. Talk to you soon.
Yeah. Have a good day.
Ciao.